This is obviously a person in a costume, right? Wrong. This is a robot in a costume, a human costume. This topic is dark. It is disturbing. Be warned. This is not for the sensitive. Let me take you down one of the darkest rabbit holes yet.
They start with human blood, and from the blood they extract stem cells, and from the stem cells they build computer organs.
Yeah, map of neurons.
Those, who are you talking to in the interview?
So he's one of the he's one of the technicians. They had a team of the technicians. The chief technology officer was there. So he's actually physically working on building these devices.
Let's take a look at the devices.
Biological computing is basically doing computation using living neurons. So we can grow these neurons from a stem cell source, which can be derived from either a blood donation or a skin drill. And so we can grow about 500,000 to 1 million of these neurons on top of what's called a microelectrode array. And that lets us read and write information to these networks in order to get them to perform.
Okay, if you're at all like mentally unstable or fragile, don't watch this one. So I've made a lot of videos about organoid intelligence in the past. That's where you take human brain cells and grow them in a petri dish and then use a computer to train them just like AI. They're actually more powerful than AI in that they learn quicker and are more energy efficient, but there are huge ethical concerns with them because they have similar brain activity to a premature baby. And there's a lot of people out there that object to these because there's a decent amount of evidence that they're conscious, just like a person. I recently posted a company called Final Spark, and they actually have something called Neural Platform where you can rent out essentially server space on these organoid brains, so you can pay for them to do things for you. This is a live stream of the organoid brain computers that you can rent out, but there's something way more concerning on their website, and that's this simulation which the brains are fed sensory data from, so that they can feel everything the butterfly feels and control it to like fly around. The reason why that's terrifying is there's a good chance the brains, if they are conscious, just believe they are that butterfly. Because when they're not in use by someone purchasing their computational power, they just fly around and exist in that simulation.
Wait, can you repeat that?
There are huge ethical concerns with them because they have similar brain activity to a premature baby. And there's a lot of people out there that object to these because there's a decent amount of evidence that they're conscious, just like a person. There's a good chance the brains, if they are conscious, just believe they are that butterfly. Because when they're not in use by someone purchasing their computational power, they just fly around and exist in that simulation.
We got to see what this is. So walk us through how you guys create the neurons and then what we're looking at here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the biological computer, and so the neurons are up the top here, in this position up here, and this is basically the electrical interface to the neurons. So this connects to the microelectrode array and lets us read the electrical simulations and also send the information in, right? And so once you have a source of stem cells, the really cool thing about those is that they can self-replicate, right? And so once they're at the stem cell stage, you can differentiate them into different types of neurons. And so the neurons are up the top here. The rest of this keeps the cells alive outside of the human body or outside of an incubator. So we have a little heater underneath the array, which keeps it at 37 degrees, which is the optimal temperature for these cells to be at. And we also have fresh food in here. So the neurons consume basically glucose water, right? And so we have a reservoir of that in here, which gets moved around by these pumps. But as they consume the glucose, they also output these waste proteins and waste molecules that we need to filter out. And so we have a couple of filters here which do that, and it ends up in the waste reservoir. You also need to control for the oxygen and the CO2. And so we have a little gas mixer up here which balances and measures the correct gas concentrations. So if you really break it down, you can think of this as your lungs, right, which balances the gases. Filters, which is your kidney. Fresh food, which would be your stomach. Waste, which would be your bladder. And then the heart here, which is your pumps that moves everything around. And of course the brain up the top.
So we're really looking at a synthetic, almost like a biological human being in a computer form?
Yes.
Yes.
This new AI being introduced is from Clone Technology, a biotechnology company based out of Russia. This new bot is called Alpha, and it has human-like muscles and tendons, capable of up 200 degrees of freedom. It has 1,000 myofibers and 500 integrated sensors. This is basically a synthetic human. Let's take a closer look at the muscular skeletal-like movements. Watch how this model reacts to the human hand, how it repeats every movement with precision. It grips and releases its grip instantaneously alongside of the human hand. A 500-watt electric pump is found at the core of this alpha bot from Clone Technologies. This mimics a heart, pushing 40 liters of liquid through its human-like synthetic vascular system per minute. This liquid mimics human blood. The bot's microchannels have repair agents for self-diagnostics, temperature control, and also acts as a lubricant. The liquid is unique to this bot and is what gives it its incredible motor control and human-like movement. The goal is for this robot to be able to teach itself with minimal human involvement. As the tagline on their website reads, "Do it yourself once, clone will do it forever."
What the big fear is that these things are going to become sentient, make better versions of themselves, and we're going to be lost. We've lost the control over the world. It's now there's a higher life form that lives amongst us.
Yeah,
that we've created. How far away are we from that?
I mean, I think we'll have. I think we're trending to having something that's smarter than any human. Smarter than the smartest human by maybe next year or something. I mean, a couple years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's a level beyond that, which is, say, like smarter than all humans combined, which frankly is around 2029 or 2030, probably. Right on time.
Whistleblowers in the AI community are coming out to speak on what is happening. In episode 4 of Whistleblowers on Unified TV, Dr. Gabriel Axel, a neuroscientist and consciousness researcher, and he talks more on AI technology, and what he says is truly hair-raising.
I personally feel that humans will be human-like for a lot longer than people predict.
Humans will be human-like for a lot longer than people predict.
The biggest obstacle facing Clone Technologies Alpha is its battery life. Right now, that is the main thing standing in the way off mass productions of these alphas. As of early 2025, the battery of these bots only lasts between 2 and 4 hours, due to the intricate and extensive systems that are used. This is an obstacle that has yet to be publicly spoken about from Clone Technologies, so they may still be working on the answer. Well. Clone Technologies in Russia may not have the answer to that question, but does the United States government? It seems like they've been working on this snag for over 15 years.
You know what one scared me more than anyone that I've ever read? I read about this thing that DARPA was putting together. It's a robot called the EATR robot, EATR robot. It's a robot that fuels itself on biological matter. So it essentially could eat bodies. So you've got a murderous robot that eats people.
It's like
That's its fuel.
Worst kind of things that human beings could achieve. It's like people are sat around trying to come up with them.
Well, they're responsible for a lot of really crazy innovation in terms of like military stuff.
Well, the Wikipedia said everything you were saying, and then it also included chicken fat was labeled as.
Oh yeah, just chicken fat, guys.
Yeah,
it's just
not
chickens.
Dead people from some fucking bomb we dropped.
Yeah.
The purpose of the energetically autonomous tactical robot EATR, just the fact they call it EATR. Project is developed and demonstrate an autonomous robot platform able to perform long-range, long-endurance missions. The system obtains its energy by foraging, engaging in biologically genetically inspired organism-like energy harvesting behavior, which is the equivalent of eating. It fucking eats things. It can find, ingest, and extract energy from biomass in the environment and other organically based energy sources, as well as use conventional and alternative fuels such as gasoline. So it can eat everything. It eats everything. Gasoline, heavy fuel, kerosene, diesel, propane, coal, cooking oil, and solar when suitable. In addition to missions requiring long-range, long-endurance ability, the Eater can provide direct support to combat units without requiring labor or material logistics support for refueling because it eats the bodies on the field, kids.
And China looks to have a say in the matter as well. So we have seen these biotech companies and entities working separately on very questionable and disturbing AI. We have Russian companies, China companies, US companies, and even the US government, all with their own agenda. But what happens when they start diving into each other's ideas? What happens when the idea of a human conscious meets an incredibly human-like AI body and molds with a bot that uses humans for fuel? Are we unknowingly or knowingly creating an end to human life as we know it?